Hello and welcome to another Adobe Photoshop CS6 lesson we're going to call Face Replace. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a picture off the internet and we're going to put my face on it. Then we're going to remove a background. So we might try one with a beard so you can see what it looks like just by replacing a face, and then also one where we have to have a layer on top that we use the beard from another one, so that would make it more difficult. And then we're also going to probably try and add a background. So I might start with this one. It's 800 by 600 dimensions, so it's a decent size. He looks kind of angry, so maybe I'll use that picture, and then we'll possibly put him in front of one of these castles. So let's get started. First thing you're going to do is you're going to open up Adobe Photoshop CS6, and I'm going to go File, Open. Now I'm going to have to browse to find it, and you would have had to save these pictures off the internet, plus get a picture of yourself, possibly off your Facebook or off of a camera, and save them in your file. At Don Ross, we want you to save them in your computers, My Documents, Computers, and then Photoshop. So I'm going to go here because I've just got them in a different place. And I'm going to start with, I'm going to give this one a try. So we'll get rid of this and we'll get rid of that, and we'll use something like a clone stamp tool to get rid of that stuff on there. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to duplicate it. It's not necessary, but I always do it just to be safe, and try and if I make a mistake, I can just throw that layer in the garbage, so it makes it easy. I just turn that off, and then I'm going to go File, Place. Now placing is where you want to find the picture of the face you want to place. And make it a little bit smaller. Just kind of look and see. So we'll try and make my head so it's turned. Now that isn't important because we can always do that later. And it just takes a Control T to get you into the free transform tool where you see these. You can rotate from the side. You can make it bigger and smaller. Strong suggestion, if you're making it bigger and smaller, hold the Shift key. People don't usually like it if you make them just wider and shorter. But anyways, do that. And how do you get out of Control T or free transform? You just hit Enter. Now we're going to place a mask on this so that we can get rid of the background. So I'm going to go down on the layers palette right here on the bottom. You just click on a mask, and then we got to remember that old saying with masks: black conceals, white reveals. So I take a paintbrush with black and I paint, and it gets rid of it. But we don't want to waste our time with such a small brush. To start with, I would suggest that you use a brush that's hard, and I'll show you the difference between a hard brush and a soft brush. So there's a soft brush at 0% hardness, and there's a hard brush at 100% hardness. So that gives it a soft edge. So I'm just going to use a hard brush to start with. And remember, I'm not using my body. Now it's getting a bit small, so I'm going to go Control Plus. And I'm going to get a little closer, and then I'm going to make, so now I'm going to make my brush smaller. So again, you move up to the top here, and I'm also going to make my brush around 70% hard. So it's all, you can't tell, like using what my size doesn't make sense, because it all depends on how big your picture is. So if your picture is bigger, you'll need a bigger brush, and it may appear smaller. But I'm going to go here. So just look for the, and you just got to move your mouse back over the picture so you can tell what it looks like. So you just get nice and close, trying to keep all your features. There are other ways to use your mask, but this is kind of how I teach it at first, just so students get an idea. You can use the magic wand tool, you can use the quick selection tool, but for the purposes of this, we're just going to use. But if you know how to use a mask other ways, feel free. So again, nice soft brush, makes it look good. Get rid of all the green. I'll take my mover tool, and my head's clearly too big. So again, Control T on your keyboard. I'm gonna have to zoom out so I can see the handles, and I zoomed out with Control minus. I'm gonna resize myself, but I'm gonna hold again the Shift key and hit Enter to get out of Control T. Now I'm gonna go back on the mask, and I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to get rid of some more stuff. Now, let's take the paintbrush. I'm on the mask. You can tell because the line is around the mask here. Make sure it's not on the picture, because if you paint on the picture, it'll paint black on the picture. I'm going to go right to the edge, the top of his hoodie. And I got to get rid of everything except my chin. Now, another thing you could do, well, one of the things I try and do is I try and go like overlay or something. Do some sort of layer so you can see if you got yourself sized properly. Now, we're not going to leave it like that, obviously, but so there's his head, and he looks deeper inside. So we'll still try and make that look better yet. And we might try and add that beard still. So I probably need to take more off the top now that you see that. I'm going to change that to normal, and I'm going to zoom back in again. I'm still going to take that's looking a little bit better. That's looking pretty good. I might click on the mover tool and then just go up a little. So there I'm looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So the next thing we're going to do, so that would be a great start. The next thing we're going to do is get rid of the background. I'm going to put a castle behind. And then the last thing we'll do is I'll add the beard. So to make it more challenging if you're interested. It's another kind of thing too if you wanted to get like flowing hair going over top of your face. But I'm going to go for that beard later on. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure, I might as well just turn the visibility on and off of my face. So I'll turn that visibility off, and I'll turn this visibility on. Then on this one, I'm going to click on the layer, and I'm going to add a mask again. And I'm going to take a paintbrush, make it hard, and I'm going to make it big. And you go through the same process. So then I would get smaller right here, and I would go to about 70% again. So I'm not going to make you watch this, and we'll start at the finished position here. So here we are with the completed mask. So let's just take a look at the layer, not the picture, but you click on the mask. Then we're going to zoom in, and I can either use the zoom tool or Control plus. Right at this point, we've removed the background on my face. We've removed the background on the night, and you can see where we've placed black in the mask here and black in the mask on the night layer. And now it's time to put a background on. We're going to add some more detail to me later, but that's kind of an optional part. This would be good enough right here. So I'm going to File and Place. And I'm going to place my background. I'm just going to resize it. Hit Enter. Maybe a Control minus to zoom out, see if it looks okay. And it looks pretty good. So there you have it. That could be a finished version. We're going to try and add a little bit more to it. What we're going to do is we're going to take the layer of the night and we're going to duplicate it. Then I'm going to bring it on top. And so that covers my face up. So just think of the stacking order here. We've got the night, then we've got me, then we've got the night again. So I'm going to go on the night layer. I'm going to make sure I'm not on the picture of the night, but the mask of the night. And I'm going to take a paintbrush and I'm going to paint with black on the mask right where his face is. And I'm going to go right where his eye is. And I'm going to make sure I'm reasonably soft there, which is good, around 70%. So that's good. Then I'm going to zoom in, Control plus again. And you can see my eyes don't match up with his eyes. So I'm going to click on my layer. I'm going to grab the mover tool. I'm going to put the eye so it matches up with the nose right there. Okay, then I'm going to click back on this layer because I want to keep the beard here is what I'm planning to do. And I'm going to grab my paintbrush again. So now we got my mouth in, his beard, and my face. Control minus, zoom out a little bit, and it's looking really good. So we put the beard on top. So just, again, pay attention to the stacking. If you're ever confused, one of the most important things to do is use these visibility toggles. So it's the eyeball. You just click on the eyeball and you can see, oh, that's me. Click on that. Or we could start at the bottom, turn them all off. We add the layer of him. It's masked out, so we've got it. Then we add the layer of me. And we add another layer of him where just the face is masked out. So there's a variety of ways you could do it, but that's it in a nutshell, how you can replace a face. And if you have extra details that need to go on front, you do that with this top layer. You duplicate the back layer, and then you can put some on top of it. And it really brings my head back into the hoodie a lot better. So that's replacing a face with Photoshop CS6. Thanks for watching.